Go ahead and mute
Thank you,
myself.
Secretary Alicia. Good evening, fellow Rotarians, and good evening to our guest, Marianne.
Thank you. Good
Um,
evening.
We are really happy to have you with us today. So I think what I'm gonna do, Alicia, would you like to introduce Marianne?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
So, Marianne Massolio has been working as a hematology oncology social worker in the Tampa Bay area for 31 years. She has developed over 25 programs and services for pediatric cancer families in West Central Florida. She has partnered with Tampa General Hospital, St. Joseph's Children's Hospital, St. Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital, H. Lee Moffitt Cancer and Research Hospital, University of South Florida, and Rotary's Camp Florida. Her focus has been to launch the opening of the One Voice Academy, the first school in the United States for children battling cancer. Working with the support of the Hillsborough County School Board and the Hospital and Homebound Program, the One Voice Academy, a program under the One Voice Foundation, has created the One Voice Academy. It's located in the administrative office at Rotary's Camp Florida, where children too sick to go to an actual school can receive visits from their hospice nurses, social workers, and teachers to drop off some schoolwork while their parents gather for support and work themselves in between clinic appointments and hospitalizations. This program gives the patients a sense of normalcy, even if it's for an hour or two a week. The One Voice Foundation provides over 20 services for children battling cancer and their families. They fund and operate a pediatric cancer research lab in partnership with the H. Lee Moffitt Cancer Center and Research Institute, where Cameron Tebby, MD, is developing a vaccine for leukemia, and he receives no compensation for this. They are the legislative voice on Capitol Hill during Childhood Cancer Awareness Days, where they testified before Congress and the Senate. So 3 years after starting her career, Marianne's 9-year-old son, Jay, was diagnosed with fourth stage non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, 9 hours after her dad had been diagnosed with prostate cancer. Transitioning from a pediatric oncology social worker to a pediatric oncology mom transformed the idea for the One Voice Academy when her own son just wanted to go to school. Though she lost Jay 6 short months into treatment, she has dedicated her life both personally and professionally to assure that this very special patient population has a school of their own. Marianne has lived in Brandon for 39 years and has a daughter, Kathleen, who's 39, who resides in Fort Lauderdale, and a son, Jay, forever 9. She is a marathon runner and has traveled extensively throughout the world. She holds board positions for many nonprofits and is an active member of the crew of the Nautilus.
Right.
Marianne, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I appreciate the opportunity. Anytime we can talk about our programs and services, it's always an honor. So you summed it up pretty well there, Alicia. That's like, I think at this point, do you want me to just discuss the programs and what we do?
That would be beautiful.
All righty, you got it. So the One Voice Foundation, as Alicia so poetically said, offers 25 different programs and services for children currently on treatment, survivors, and our bereaved families. We serve West Central Florida, 7 different counties. And we also, as she mentioned, if a patient is treated at Johns Hopkins All Children's, St. Joe's, Tampa General, or Moffitt, they're eligible for our programs and services. Our services are educational, financial, and emotional. On top of being a social worker, I'm a hospice trained grief counselor. So a lot of my work is with our bereaved families who have lost a child. Our philosophy is that the entire family is diagnosed, not just the child. So our programs are designed to meet all their needs. I will share with you right now, I have grandmothers in the other room doing puppy yoga. It's our emotional support night, and we have about 12 puppies here doing yoga with our grandparents and parents. One of our programs is called Your Turn, Your Time, and it's for our very weary parents. We have an 80% divorce rate. We have financial ruin. Pediatric cancer hits, and it hits hard. Oftentimes parents stop working. Their medical expenses don't stop. So as your income comes down on FMLA, your medical expenses go up. So one of our largest programs is our financial program. We get the referrals from the hospital. We never pay a family directly. I pay TICO bills, medical bills, car rentals, mortgage payments, things that just, the last thing you want are these families to now lose their home or their car or their insurance plan. So we spend about $150,000 a year with our healthcare providers providing the referral, and we pay third party directly. So that's our largest, is our financial. Our emotional, we have support groups, we do individual counseling, we have summer camps held right here at Rotary Camp. I personally have used this camp for over 30 years. The first camp in the state of Florida for children with cancer was held right here at the Rotary Camp with Dr. Judish when we were at Moffitt. So there's a long-standing relationship with pediatric cancer and Rotary Camp Florida. So we're proud and excited to be able to offer programs and services here as well. We also have another location, our research lab, which is up in partnership with Moffitt Cancer Center. Our Dr. Cameron Tebby, as Alicia mentioned, receives no compensation. Our lab is not licensed for live animals, so we keep our mice at Moffitt. Dr. Tebby is working diligently on a vaccine for leukemia. His goal is to never have to tell another parent their child has cancer. We also have 14 therapy horses in conjunction with our partnership with Quantum Leap Farm. We ride on Tuesdays, and the children can ride anytime they want, and they go out to their physical therapy, equine therapy, emotional therapy, even occupational and speech therapy. We're excited that we've got insurance to recognize it as long as it's a doctor's order and it's also paid for. I do want to mention two things as I'm babbling, because I do talk a lot and I apologize. Number one, anything I say, it never costs a family a nickel. We never charge for programs and services, and we are a volunteer organization. To be able to provide 25 programs, a research lab, and our legislative committee, I'm the only paid employee. So I just like to put that out there, because sometimes when I start talking about programs, it sounds like we have this big heavy staff, which we do not. Our funding goes directly to programs and research. As I started to say at the beginning, we believe the whole family is diagnosed. So we have SIBS, which is Strengthen Brothers and Sisters, which is our sibling program. We have TOTS, which is Together Oncology Toddlers, our preschool program, which takes place up at Quantum Leap Farm. We have all kinds of complementary therapies. We've partnered with the Florida Academy of Performing Arts. If any of our patients or siblings want to take music lessons, acting lessons, voice lessons, they just sign right up at the Florida Academy of Performing Arts here in Brandon, and we get the bill. It doesn't cost them anything. And one of our vocalists, I'm excited to say, has sung the national anthem at the Tampa Bay Lightning game 3 times now. So that's the kind of caliber of training these children are getting. Oftentimes when a family's diagnosed, all those extras can't be afforded. And you don't want to tell a sibling, I'm sorry, you can't take piano lessons because we have to buy your sister's medicine. So again, our siblings are involved with everything that we do. We have creative yoga, all the complementary therapies that help them. Our emotional support, a lot of which I said is individual, it's group. I do a lot of bereavement counseling. Every year we travel, we're getting ready actually to leave in 2 weeks. We head to Washington, D.C., and we head up the largest gathering of pediatric cancer organizations in the world, really. We put out 1,800 pairs of shoes in front of the Washington Monument to represent the 1,800 children that we lose every year to cancer. And we facilitate support groups, the bereavement tent for all 50 states and 70 countries. And that's one of our largest programs, is our bereavement program. And there's so many more, sorry. We have a teen group, we have a cancer survivorship group, and just really any non-medical need that the families have, if it falls under emotional support, financial support, or educational support. The One Voice Academy came out of something I never thought about in the staff lounge at Tampa General. It wasn't until I moved into the mommy lounge and my own child said, well, how am I going to go to school? I'm like, ooh, gosh, I never thought about school. If I told any one of you right now that you had cancer as an adult, one of your first thoughts is going to be, ooh, what about work? Well, for children, it's what about school? It's their normalcy. So we provide a program here. We call it the One Voice Academy. It is not a school. It is actually a program where parents can come, children can come. Say you have an appointment at St. Joe's at 2 o'clock and you live in Sarasota. Why would you sit in the Burger King parking lot or get to the hospital early? No, they can come here. The hospice nurses come here. Our social workers visit them here. And it's a non-medical feel that the teachers now drop off their work too. These children fall behind, they fail, and that just adds to their, resentment for the disease. This way, the teachers come, they drop off work, and the children take their backpacks and go off to school. Go off to the hospital. We also do a lot of virtual work. Many of these children cannot be around other children. And that's kind of how it stemmed here during COVID. Obviously, all of you realized how hard it is to have a child in school when there's a pandemic. And that's what we had been saying all along was our children cannot go to school, period. So why don't we have a safe place where they could come and at least get their homework, be around other children? I'm a firm believer in 30 years that the best support is peer support. Who better to tell you what's going to happen or how it feels than somebody going through it themselves? So we're big proponents on children helping children, teens helping children. And we have a great mentoring program, big buddy program. And one of our other programs is called Moms, which is Meeting Oncology Moms. And I can tell you, they become best of friends. You may not want to call clinic at 10 o'clock at night, but you sure as heck are going to call another mom and say, I just don't know what to do. Can you help me? And the other moms embrace it. So as I said earlier, we're a family-centered organization. We serve all types of cancer. That's the most common question I get a lot of times is, what are the qualifications? It doesn't matter. It's not leukemia specific or a brain tumor organization. If the doctor sends us a referral that this child has a malignancy and they were either born with it or diagnosed with it before the age of 21, we follow the federal guidelines of pediatrics and they are eligible for our programs. So that's the nutshell version of it. There's always a lot more with our programs, but I did want to allow for questions because it is such a unique program. Sometimes there's a lot of questions on, well, what does this mean or how does this get run and that type of thing. So we are an independent. We are not a chapter of a national organization like, American Cancer Society or St. Baldrick's or some of them that have a headquarters and then a local. We are it. Congress, Kathy Castor has actually called this model the model for the nation. She would like to see more organizations like this throughout the country. We are looking at a group in Miami that we would like to partner with to maybe do some work with them that kind of mirrors what we're doing in Hillsborough and on the West Coast to maybe offer it on the East Coast with another organization from a mom who lost her son as well. So that's what I got, but I could go on, but I'm going to take a break, give you guys a break and see if there's any questions or comments, concerns, anything that you'd like to add. One thing I would love to do is have y'all come. I'd love for you to meet these children. They're all screaming in the background now. I had no idea the storm was going to be so bad. I got dogs, I got kids, I got puppy yoga, I got it all. Let me tell you, we got pizza going. We were supposed to be over on the campsite, but there's so much lightning. So we're here together tonight. So
well, and it's a wonderful building. When you had the open house, when you did that ribbon cutting for it, Will and I were there, and we heard about what it was all about, and then we got to see the facility, and I've seen it on a monthly basis now, and it's just when you go in and you see the tables with the art supplies and you see there's the doll houses. I'm sorry, but I mean, the doll houses,
very popular.
Yeah. It's just, that children are expressing themselves there. That they're into it and it's good.
It's a sense of normalcy. Yeah.
Mary Ann, I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
One, how many kids at any one time do you deal with, and are they broken up by ages, or how do you manage that logistically?
At the most, with the exception of Tuesday nights, during the day, probably 2 to 4 kids maybe, and they may not all be here at the same time. Sometimes kids will leave the hospital, they needed blood, they needed an infusion, so they might pop in and have macaroni and cheese with me at lunchtime and then continue on home. Then I also have the group that come in the morning, maybe 1 or 2 of them, they visit with their nurse, their teacher, and then they leave because they have a clinic appointment at 2 o'clock to get their vitals and see where they're at with their labs. So it's kind of an open door policy is kind of the best way to answer the question. Tuesday night is open to all of our children on treatment and their siblings. We meet over on the camp side and we do tutoring, mentoring, video trucks, drum circles. It's a family night at camp on Tuesday nights. And there's a ton of those kids. As you'll probably hear before this call is over, but normally 2 to 4 kids on any given one day. Sometimes tomorrow I have no children. The teacher's actually doing a virtual. We have a little guy over in Orlando who's receiving radiation. So she's going to do it from her house on the computer. So it's usually a very small, little intimate, fun little group.
Great, thank you.
I do want to go back to the ribbon cutting, Alicia, that you mentioned, because one of the things that I found really profound about that day, there was a lot of media coverage. And the next day or a day or two later, I got an email from a mom who said, I saw the story. I want my daughter to go. She has terminal cancer. She can't go to school. And she writes this incredible, she lost her husband to COVID. Like it was this incredible email. And she said, so we're thinking of moving down. I thought, oh, from Clearwater. I had no idea where she was going with it. She actually lives in Massachusetts, and an affiliate in Massachusetts picked up the ribbon cutting story that it was this place where children with cancer could, gather. And they moved down. She just finished her first full year, and she's actually on her Make-A-Wish cruise this week. But she's been, she comes when she can come, but at least she feels like, you know what, I feel like I'm in school, even though it's not a school. And I feel like I can talk to these other people because they're in the same situation I am. So I think it just goes to show you the need for the program when somebody uproots their whole family, siblings and all, and heads to Tampa from Westfield, Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that's powerful. That's very
Yes.
powerful.
That is, yeah. So, Marianne, you mentioned you have 25 program in total. Do I get it right?
Yes, we have about 25 programs for siblings, for toddlers, our financial program, our horse program. Oh gosh, I should always write these things down because after I hang up, I'm like, oh, well, they're on the website, sorry. But yeah, we do anything that's non-medical, we provide.
Okay. So out of those programs, what are the most impactful out of all those programs?
Wow. Ooh, I've never been asked that. I would say emotional support, probably my bereavement work. I do a lot of anticipatory grief. I will be very honest because I'm probably going to get very emotional, but I've had 3 funerals in the last 2 weeks, 2 of which were students here. So a lot of my work involves preparing the other students to make sure that, they know that this child is very ill. I talk to the other parents. We do a lot of funeral assistance. But it doesn't end there. I always never, ever, ever want a family to feel that once their child passes, they don't have a place. When you lose a child, it's a very awkward, like, do I visit the hospital? Do I still go to this group? Where do I fit in? And that's when we transition them into our bereavement program, Voices of Angels, because we never want them to feel like they're not still eligible. I have children here tonight who are siblings that have lost brothers and sisters. They're always going to be included. And I think the fact that there's really nowhere else to go. There's other bereavement programs, but because this one is specifically for children that have passed from cancer, led and facilitated by a social worker who also lost their child to cancer, I think that there's a lot of mutual respect for the work that we do. And I know how impactful it is. I have families that are coming, their child might have passed 11 years ago, and they'll still come by every once in a while when they need to. And I think that in itself is very impactful. And when we go to DC and put out 1,800 pairs of shoes in front of the Washington Monument, CNN covers it. And our goal is to make the biggest impact we can that it's not rare. People want to tell you how, oh, well, that's rare and children don't get cancer. Well, let me tell you, they do. My sister's a pediatric oncologist. I'm a pediatric oncology social worker. Who would have thought my own child, hello, would be diagnosed 9 hours after my dad? I mean, come on. I mean, that is the most absurd. Even when I say it to this day, it still sounds insane. So I always tell people we're the best example of that should happen to everybody else. It would never happen to us, but it does, and it's not rare. And our numbers are up. And that's another thing I try to raise and let people know too. When I started, it was 43 children a day were diagnosed. Now it's almost 48. So we're going the wrong way. There's so little funding. I love to tell people this too. Pediatric cancer research, if you take the NIH dollars from the National Health and the National Cancer Institute, 4 cents, 4 pennies goes to pediatric cancer research. 96 cents goes to breast, prostate, lung, liver. And that 4% is divided by 27 pediatric cancers. And what's sad is our researchers end up writing grants and trying to get money when they should be in with the test tubes while the rest of us write the grants. So it's kind of poo-pooed in the real world. It's like it doesn't happen and it's really rare. So let's concentrate on the pinks and the breast cancers and some of the other adult cancers. So I just like to raise awareness. And I think that's impactful too, to answer your question, is making people aware that children do get cancer and there's very little support. There's no incentive to create really any kind of medicine. I was born in 1958. And my son's medicines, vincristine and methotrexate, were developed in 1958. So that tells me in my entire lifetime, there's been no new medicines for these children. So that's another thing that I always try to let groups know. It's awareness, which I think is impactful too.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Thanks for asking.
I have another quick question.
Sure.
You see a lot of advertising of St. Jude Hospital and the research that they're doing. Is
Correct.
there any interface between your work and St. Jude's, or?
There is. There's the national organization is called COG. It's Cancer Oncology, Children's Oncology Group. Tampa General and St. Joe's are COG hospitals, which most hospitals are that treat children with cancer. They're all part of that network. So in other words, if somebody at St. Jude's discovers this about this particular cell, it goes into Children's Oncology Group. So the doctors at Sloan Kettering, doctors at Nemours, they also share the information. And that's fairly new in the last, I'd say, 10, 12 years. Prior to that, people were very secretive, if you will. They're very private. They like to keep their research to themselves. But that kind of got busted open. And this is not a political statement, but it got busted open during the Clinton and then Obama years when they just said you have to share. This is, parents like myself have been on the Hill asking you to share the information. For God's sakes, if you know something that can help this child over here, we need to start sharing. The problem is that children are not allowed to go on clinical trials. You have to be 18 years old. You all would be eligible, no offense, but we're all over 18. So we would be eligible. If I have a 14-year-old with the same disease that you have, Alicia, that child's not allowed to go on a clinical trial. Well, now it's starting. I used to bring a young lady to the Hill with me. She was 17 years and 4 months, and she was denied a clinical trial. So the next year when I went back and I said to the senators, I said, you all remember Melissa, right? She came with me last year. Well, she passed away. So I really, I think sharing the information with St. Jude's and our hospitals is really one of the only ways that's going to happen because they're so limited. St. Jude's makes millions of dollars. That's actually where my sister works. So I can tell you they do amazing work. But the fact that we can share it locally is huge and new. That's a new thing, and probably in the last 12, 15 years. It's a beautiful facility. If you ever get the chance to go to Memphis, it's impressive. I just wish there were more of them and there were more researchers, to be honest.
Yeah, communication's a wonderful thing. if he
Yes.
wants it.
It is, yeah.
Mm.
I think Dick
Sure.
has a question. Dick is raising his hand.
Yeah, I had a question. At Camp Florida, your academy is a day program? Or
Oh yeah, for sure. It's really an hourly program. Yeah, the children come, and when they come, like I said, tomorrow I don't have any. It's an open door policy. It's my administrative office. The kids come in. None tomorrow. I might have one come Thursday. If they schedule their nurses visits here instead of the home, just so that gets these children out of the house safely. Otherwise, they would literally be sitting home by themselves. Yeah, oh yeah, it's day for sure. We're open. I open administratively. I'm here 8:30 to 5, like normal office hours. Sometimes I'll have a child come in from 11 to 1, sometimes 2 to 3. Yes, but oh yeah, for sure day. I feel like it's night. I feel like I'm here 24/7, to be honest. But no, it is day, except for Tuesdays when we're over on the campsite doing family night.
Yeah, go ahead, Suzanne, just unmute yourself.
Hi,
Yeah.
I'm an art teacher, so
Aw,
I have a lot of marginalized students of all kinds, but
love
it's
that.
unfortunately not part of it. But I wonder what you do for yourself to keep going, because I know that this is, you talk a mile a minute. This is a lot of energy that you put out, but is there something, I mean, you go get a puppy or
Well, there's about 12 of them here right now. If I
I
need
know.
one. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's just divine intervention, to be perfectly honest. I get that asked a lot. I'm a little down now because we're pretty beat with all these recent losses. And I'm the cheerleader, and after a while, I know what they're going to feel. I know how horrible this is going to be for your family. So I'm trying to, counsel them. And I'm thinking, really, you're counseling them. And I have amazing support, both from professional counselors who work with our families and just really good bunco friends. Just kind of a couple glasses of wine and throw some dice. I have a wonderful life partner who makes me go on a cruise every once in a while. I'm way overdue, I might add, Jim, but
you have a child
nonetheless.
too, right? You
Yeah.
have a child that has right now is challenged.
I do, no, I have a daughter that's 39. No, my son passed away at
I'm
the age
sorry.
of 9. My daughter is 39. She lives in Fort Lauderdale. She works in professional sports. Yeah, but we do a lot of art. You'd love our art therapy. I love people like you. I see a coffee filter, you see a butterfly. So I have no artistic ability, but some of the stuff, and it's interesting with art. And you can appreciate this when they're looking at the art, they'll talk because they're not looking at you, as you know. So some of the things that come out when you think they're just doing an art project is pretty profound. So we do a lot of art. We have a beautiful art studio. The kids do a lot of painting. It's a beautiful. You should come. I'd love for you to see it. I'd love to get your opinion too.
No, that's interesting. I give advice. I don't give opinions. So
Oh, I'm using that. Oh, I like that.
I think
Yeah.
that's what teaching is. Teaching is not, you did this wrong, because that's how I grew up. But yeah,
Sure.
I'm from Europe, in Germany. Parents never find anything good about what you're doing. They find what you could be doing better. So
Interesting. Well, we have a big poster in our art studio that says there's no mistakes in art.
That's right.
yeah, I think the first mistake everybody makes is to show you how to draw a smiley face, because that's when creativity just went out the door and you're trying to please mom. So I try to
Right.
get kids to start over, and adults.
And I've learned the hard way not to say, what a cute cat. It's a rabbit. So I don't say
Oh.
anything. I'm like, oh, that is so cute. Yeah, I learned the hard way. Like destroyed their. I just need to stay out of the art studio. We all have a toolbox. We all know certain things, and I am the first to admit art is definitely not my strong suit.
No, just say it's cool. It's wonderful. We all need fans. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, that's true.
So, yeah, so Marian, you just mentioned like a toolbox. I mean, what do you supply the children when they come? I mean, I know they come, they need to do their homework, keep up with their schoolwork.
Sure.
what else is supplied?
All their school supplies. We have a laptop program. I just mentioned earlier, we have a little guy over in Orlando, so he's part of our laptop program. We provide iPads, laptops. Some of our children are in isolation, and this is really their only communication. So we make sure that everybody has laptops, iPads. We have quite a backpack stuffing. We have a lot of backpacks that are donated. We have probably about 40 here right now that are completely stuffed with index cards, markers, everything you could need for an entire school year, probably, and then some. And we hand them out at the hospital. I spend a lot of time in the hospital as well. We go to St. Joe's at least once a week and over to Tampa General, and we bring backpacks. We make sure they have laptops so they can communicate with their teachers and with their friends and families. So we provide, as far as that, we provide snacks. I am not a chef. It's right up there pretty much with the art, but a lot of times these children don't eat. I have 4 kids now that are on feeding tubes. We also have children with severe mouth sores from their medications. So they bring their own food. I mean, I have stuff here, you know, applesauce and things for their meds, but they usually bring their own food. They either don't want to eat or they eat all day. If they're on heavy steroids, they gain a lot of weight, they lose a lot of weight. Self-image is very important. So we do a lot with working with their self-image. We provide wigs, we provide makeovers, we have feel good, look good for the children. And we try to have as much fun as we can with the different programs, but we provide all their school supplies. They really don't need anything. They could literally walk in right now. And even if they don't have their backpack or supplies, we have them. We're very, very grateful for the community. We get a lot of support from the Buccaneers and the Lightning and professional athletes in the area that do backpack drives for us, visit the kids in the hospital, come here and say, hey, which is very special. It makes the kids feel very special.
So you're there right now at the building, correct?
For Tuesday nights, we're here every Tuesday. Well, not every Tuesday, but most Tuesday nights we're here for what we call Tuesday Tutoring Family Night at Camp. And it's basically like day camp, but it's just tutoring. We don't really do a lot of tutoring. I'm just going to be really honest with you, but we review and then we do whatever activity we're doing. Last week, we certified everybody in CPR. Everybody over the age of 16 came. We brought the Red Cross in. If the parents are here anyway, why? I mean, it's important to sit and have coffee, but hey, while you're here, why don't you get certified in infant, pediatric, and adult CPR? So we transitioned parents now that were not CPR trained. That's part of our Your Turn, Your Time parent program that we have here. It's family night, basically.
Right, right. Well, that's cool. I was just wondering if there's any way we could see a couple of the rooms.
Oh, yes, I know how to do that.
Because I've seen the rooms. I was in the building just a couple of weeks ago, and there's one room that's just so cool.
Oh, I know which room. Oh, and that's where the puppies are. So if I let me see. I am not the brightest, but let me figure out as you all are talking. Let's see if I can figure out how to get. This is a fake background, so I have to get that off, and I'm just not sure how to do that.
Yeah, I was just saying that's a pretty fancy office there.
Oh yes, I'm fancy. No, my office is Play-Doh and pens, and I just don't know how to get the background off. If anybody else, let's see. Let's see.
You need to go into your setting.
Blur my background, choose. Okay, I'm gonna go to choose virtual background and maybe I can do none. Okay, oh, I did it.
Oh, she's in there.
I did it. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. Earlier today, I learned how to scan a document on my phone and now this. I don't even know. I don't even know who I am. All right, now, I guess if I walk around.
Yes.
Yes, okay, well, we'll take a walk. So this is the Lightning classroom, and it's where I do a lot of counseling with my teens. This is sponsored by the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, look at me. Okay, now I'll probably watch you and then trip over a beanbag chair. So
Yeah, no, shove back in the corner.
But this is, we try to make it look like a Lightning classroom. I'm going to warn you now, it's maddening out there, but let's do this. Oh gosh. They're all gonna laugh because I told them they had to be quiet, and now I'm coming out. So they're gonna be like, you said to be quiet. Okay, so we'll go into this room over here. This is another one of our classrooms. It's a testing center. Kids come in here. This is our computer lab if they don't have computers. You'll notice we keep the walls gray. A lot of our children are on the spectrum, so we try to keep this room calm. This is now the end of the calm part of our tour. Here we go. Okay. Oh boy. Yeah, we're not expecting this. Scott, I'm doing a virtual tour. Meet Scott. Scott
Hey,
is
Scott.
chairman of the board here at the One Voice Foundation. He is also a bereaved dad. He lost his little girl Tatum, and he travels to DC with me. They want to see the rooms.
Oh, very nice.
Here we go. All right. Can everybody say hi? Okay.
Hi.
The kitchen.
Kitchen, okay.
So if you see, these are converted
Can we all
houses.
say hello?
They
These
have
are some of our
kitchens.
parents.
Hello.
I'm going to try to show you all the lockers over here. So when the children come in, these are their lockers.
And look at the
Their names
backpacks.
on it. They can leave things here for days at a time, and they're always here when they come back. I know, right? This is Sandra Masacci. She's with Hillsborough County Schools. She popped in tonight in the middle of our rainstorm. All right, here's our team. Can everybody say hi?
Hi.
Oh boy. And going this way.
Wow.
This is the art studio I was talking about. Can you guys say hi? Hi.
Oh, there's the art. Hey.
Almost, Scott, you're getting it in several languages. Oh, and I'm getting a hug. Meet Sophia.
Aw.
Hello, Sophia. Now we're gonna invade the puppies. Hey, how are you? I'm just gonna invade the puppies. Actually, there's one now.
Okay, we go.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Sorry, we got four-legged and two-legged, and what do we got in here? Okay, these are the children doing puppy yoga. Hello, Anastasia. All right, let's get some action shots. What, honey? Oh, see, that puppy loves you. Look at that. So here are our puppies. Can you? I don't know if y'all can see them or not, but and that's Miss Marisol. She does the yoga with the children. This is the room you like, Alicia, right? The playroom.
I like that one, and I
Give you a
like the
view of
lightning.
it, but got my head in the way. There's the puppies. There we go. It's always comforting to a parent. I haven't seen your child. Anyway, I'm gonna head back, but that gives you an idea.
Right, that's a nice
Kind
tour.
of how it
Wonderful.
is here on Tuesday nights. So every Tuesday night we have a different theme. We bring in our nurses from Tampa General are coming next week. Doing an in-service with our families. A nutritionist coming. Again, we were talking about their food. A lot of them either don't eat a lot or they eat a lot too much. So in fact, we have one little boy who's not here tonight because his potassium and soda levels were too high. So eating is a big deal around here. So
So
did that work?
the kids, that was incredible. That was fun. I mean, I knew where you were, but I think that really gave everybody a really good sense of what's going on and what the building really is, you know, what you're
Great
doing
tour.
there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do. Again, we're very blessed. We get a lot of support and the uniqueness of it. Again, you know, I don't have an example to follow. It's scary when Congress calls you the model for the nation. I'm like, oh, great. Okay, what are we gonna do today? I told somebody the other day, I'm flying a plane as I build it, and that kind of sums it up. So we're just flying the plane. We're gonna keep on going. To answer your question about my energy level, again, it goes back to divine intervention. You know, which I receive a lot of. So, you know, I feel like it's funny, when I started working in oncology, I worked with adults at Moffitt, and the pediatricians begged me to come to clinic because they weren't able to keep a social worker. I'm like, well, understandably, it's very emotional. And I resisted for about 8 months, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do some clinics. Well, who would have thought 3 years later, you know, when I thought I knew so much about something, you know, it would be my own child. So through that experience, I changed a lot of programs. Like I was always kind of Mary Poppins. Oh, your child has cancer. Here's your resources. And like when that happened to me, I'm like, God, get away from me. That is like so. I just want to take a shower. My mother-in-law's here. Like the reality of what these families go through became my reality. And from that experience, is how we ended up here. My relationship with the camp is long-standing. Like I said, I started in 1993 at a summer camp here for children with cancer. In fact, my children came with me because I would never leave them. I only live 7 miles away, but they came with me. And it was one of the first camps for kids with cancer. And we kind of always have come here. And during COVID, when everybody was home and nobody could go to school, we could do outdoor classrooms here just to kind of just do some out. We did funerals here. When if you had ever told me as a grief counselor I would watch YouTube and see a child's funeral, I would be like, you no, that's not no. So we were able to come here, which is really home for these families. You know, they come to camp here, they come to programs here. They've been coming to Faces of Courage and One Voice Children's Cancer Center for 30 years. I think this is Peggy's 27th or 8th year. I
Yeah.
don't know. I call her my work wife. I don't know. We've been together a long time. So that's One Voice.
Yeah, thanks for sharing.
That-
Amazing.
yeah.
It's really amazing all the
Thank
good
you.
work that you do.
The-
Yeah.
The fact that you're doing it, you're building that plane as you're flying,
Yeah.
that hits home for me. I mean, that's the way we do it. When you do something that is so meaningful and so worthwhile, it comes from your heart and your soul.
Yeah. For
And
sure.
that's how you do it. It's not always
You do
crossing those T's and dotting those I's.
No.
It's doing what's just, it's just the right thing to do.
Just can't be black and white. You know what I mean?
No,
I said
it's
to
not.
somebody, if you rest, you rust. So that's my biggest fear is you know, obviously transitioning. As I said, I don't have any employees and I'm 66. Well, I will be six. I'm hanging in there. I'll be 66 on Sunday. So I'm 65. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday.
But I had a wonderful summer intern who I'm kind of grooming for the position eventually down the line. She's actually getting her degree in nonprofit management at UCF, which I didn't even know they had a degree. I said, great, come back and tell me everything I've done wrong for 30 years. This will be fun. But great. But again, it wouldn't get done without the people around me. A lot of those teens you saw out there are just ridiculously amazing. We're very blessed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's beyond awesome.
It says, keep up the good work.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love being able to talk about it, as you probably figured out, and and I can talk again. And if you're ever in the Tampa Brandon area or you're near the camp, please come by and see. It won't be quite as crazy unless it's a Tuesday night between 5:30 and 8. I make no promises, but some people like it. They like the chaos. So
Are you gonna be there Saturday?
I have 3 events this weekend. I have it's September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and people will be aware. Saturday is one of our largest fundraisers in Ybor City. Sunday, we're benefiting from a Buccaneer game, ticket sales, and Friday night we have a restaurant donating a percentage back. So
Nice.
no, I will not be here Saturday.
Oh, okay.
What is Saturday? Is there an event?
Yeah, Saturday's a camp work day.
Oh, well,
Yeah, interesting. Yeah,
yeah. How about that? Okay.
how about that?
Well, I won't be here for it, but work away.
Okay.
Always work to be done here, I can assure you.
There is.
There is.
It's a beautiful campus, and what you've done with that house, I was telling everybody while you're walking through, is that this is it was an actual house. It's been transformed into a piece of functioning beauty.
Yes, there's 2 beautiful homes on the property, and they were sisters. This home, that both the mom, both the women and husband passed away. The other house, which is the current office, she's still alive. She's 103 in a nursing home in Brandon. She's precious. We used to see her at the mailbox. Her family kept her there during COVID because nursing homes, you did not need to be there. But she's doing really well.
That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, it's special. It's homey.
Yeah, it is. It is. Marianne, thank you.
Thank you
all
so
so
much.
If I could give you another hug, I would. Marianne and I have talked several times, and I've been in the house and seen everything. I said that room and that other room. Yeah, right.
Just
my
we try
favorite.
to normalize something that's just not normal. You know, Bobby was
No,
playing
you can't.
baseball yesterday and he's on chemo today, and it comes out of nowhere. And if we can provide some normalcy, some laughter, which as you can see we do, then
That was
then
fun.
we're doing our job.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun. Thank you so
I
much.
hope to see you when I come back. I think we miss each other last time.
Yes, last
you
time.
remember? Yeah, so.
I think that was a week that Jim made me go on the cruise. The only kudos to Jim. So,
There we go.
Alicia, did you say you wanted me to talk, or you want to call me later, or was that just in my imagination?
No, I'll call you later.
Okay, I
It's
will
all
be
good.
here. Yeah,
It's all good.
sounds
And
good.
Malona,
I'll be with the crazy till about 8:30 or so.
okay, no, that's fine. And Malona, when you get back in the States, you and I will make a point in going over.
Heck
Yeah, we do, definitely.
definitely. Well, thank you all so much for your interest in having me, and hopefully you'll get to see the campus. Alicia, I will talk with you later, and I'm going to go play with some puppies.
Have a good one. Oh, have fun.
Thank y'all so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oops. I told you I was really cool with this machine. I'm trying to
Okay.
leave. Yeah.
So where are you, Malona?
I'm in Togo.
Oh, wow, good reception.
Yes.
Big city? No, big city?
It is, yeah, it's a big city, but it's depend on the day. Today, I would say I keep my finger crossed. Yeah, the reception is good. Uh-huh.
Yeah, we had a power outage for the first time this whole year in South Tampa, and
Okay.
I was about to teach, and I came home, and my husband's watching Apple TV. Apparently, he has the means to do so. I couldn't, so I said, "Okay, I'm getting back in my car, going 2 blocks to Starbucks, and I'm going to teach from there." So I spent 3 hours at Starbucks with some light music and my
Oh my
students
God.
in a drawing class. So
Oh,
that's what you
wow.
do. And others said, "Oh, you would have canceled." I said, "No, no, no.
Yeah,
Tomorrow's an art
okay.
reception. They all have to come to that. And then on Saturday, we'll all be at the museum." I'm sorry, Alicia. Apparently, I have to work, but it's museum.
Museum. Wow, excellent. Good job. Wow, that's cool. It was a great presentation. So,
A lot more positive than I was expecting. We're all dealing with death and dying around here.
Well,
So
but
I think
that's just the one thing with Marianne. When I first met her, well, actually, when we first met, Will and I, we went to the open house, the ribbon cutting for the building. But since then, I've gotten to know her, especially being the board president for Rotary's Camp Florida. I go on site on the campsite once a month now, and I always make sure I have time to go down and say hi to her. And she's put herself in a good place. She's taken such a tragedy and she's turned it into such a good thing for so many people. And I said her son's forever 9, but she still has her daughter, and she's got an amazing support. So
well, I think people like that support each other. So I think
do.
there's a whole community.
yeah.
I have a former student of mine is a diabetic, and I think of that very often because that's about 100 years of treatment now for diabetics. And there is a mother that I met through Rotary in Stuttgart who was doing a program called Dia Niño. I would love to see that around here. That is a volunteer organization. She has a son with diabetes, and she has brought together an organization to vet or to help with volunteer nurses, young families that deal with young children with diabetes. So I think every time you're involved in a disease yourself, then, you know, you end up, if you're an organizer, to put together something like that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's just, it's awesome. And yeah, you would, Suzanne, you would get a kick out of if you walk into the house and there's one main, it's kind of a lanai area in the back of the house where they really is dedicated for art. There's two long tables.
Yeah, I saw that just now.
Yeah, but she also uses a couple tables on the inside of the house where I mean, there's art, there's expressiveness all over the place. So it's just really cool. And the backpacks, I was just amazed. She had a couple of I think it was a couple raised players to come in. And I forgot to ask her about that, but it's dark out anyway, and the weather's not that great. But she had a couple raised players come in and help with the backpack packing. But she also had a handful of team players come in, and she's got at least a half dozen picnic benches outside, kind of in the front lawn of her area. And they just had a day and came out and painted all the picnic benches for her. I mean, the connections are cool. And she had those lightning jerseys. They were just donated. I mean, she's
Well, she said they're sponsoring the room, so you know,
yeah,
I'm sure there's some funds that go to that.
Yeah.
And if they can express themselves through logos.
Well,
Sure.
That's right. It's always a good opportunity, right?
yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
it's wonderful.
So we have 4 more minutes, so I would like to take the opportunity to wish an happy birthday to the September birthday. So we have Michelle, our treasurer, September 11, PDG Will, happy birthday.
Yeah,
And-
and May, can I interject? This
Yeah.
is a big one. He's turning
If you must.
80.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Congratulations.
I'm sorry, dear. I just had to because it's
If
It's
I
a
had
big
known
one.
I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself.
Oh, so said my father at 99. So you got a little ways to go. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Oh, the eighties are fun. You can get away with all kinds of stuff.
Well, good. He'll have to give me some tips.
Wear purple. Apparently older people do that.
For purple. You know, dye my beard.
There we
Well, in
go.
Bangladesh, they all have red, bright red, henna dyed. Anybody who's gray is red. They're
Oh.
or orange, yeah.
I
Orange
would let you grow it out. I could braid it again, but I'm not going to do that.
I had during COVID, I grew it down like Duck Dynasty.
And I braided it.
Did you wear the hats to go with it? I think they
No.
wear hats, don't they?
No.
That's cute.
By
But
the
didn't
way,
you have a
Will-
braid in the back? You
Yes,
still
he
have
Still
does.
do.
Yeah,
Still,
okay.
still
There
do
you
here
go.
somewhere.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to thank Will. He just sent me 3 inches of his rain during this storm.
Well, I'm sitting here worrying a little bit about because apparently there's more going on. I thought that somebody there's a canal or some kind of lid by the street, and I thought that it had been stolen because we have a new little elementary school around the corner. And my neighbor said, "Oh no, it floated away in the last flood." And I said, "Oh my God, where was I?" So things move. I think we have raccoons that are moving up my irrigation lids. I don't know who else would be doing it, but we have
Oh,
big
wow.
raccoons around here.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, wonder what they have in Togo running around.
We have a lot of those ones, but not in the city.
There is a movie that is called A Million Minutes about a child that is developmentally needs help, but a little bit of help. She's otherwise very smart and very brilliant. But the parents are, she says to her dad, I want 1,000,000 minutes with you, quality time. And that's 3 years, apparently.
Wow.
So mom and dad get together and they tell her, go find a place where you'd like to go. And dad works remotely. This is a true story, and it's a film made out of that. And I saw it on an airplane, so it was really, really nice. It's a German film.
Okay.
But it was about going
What
to
happened?
Thailand and to Iceland.
Just a cookie. I'm
Who is
Andrew,
that?
you're on
Oh, yeah.
loud and you're talking
I'll
to
do
all
it,
of
Matt.
us.
Is that the cookie for Will's birthday? So
He was
Will-
cooking, not baking.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
All
So go
right.
see 1,000,000 minutes if you can. It's really nice.
Okay, thanks for sharing. Excellent. So I think it's perfect timing, just on time. So we are going to close the meeting with a 4-way test. Is it
Okay.
the
Is it the
truth?
Is it the truth?
Is it
Is
fair?
it fair to all
all
concerned?
concerned.
Will
Will
it
it build good,
Build
better
friendships.
friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Concern?
And is
And
it
would it be
fun?
fun?
Had a
Is it
good
fun?
time tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and actually stop the
The
recording
recording.
here.